So another function in our list is digitalWrite. So like the pin mode that I explained, the word digitalWrite explain itself. The digital means you are talking to the digital pin. The write means the write means what you want the digital pin to do. So and also this like I said that every other functions is sensitive in uppercase and lowercase. So let me write the digital pin. So let you see how the digital pin looks like. So digital, if you look at the function digital, you see this digital start with this first letter start with a lowercase, while the right here start the letter W start with a uppercase letter. So if you not use the right uppercase or to write this thing, this function will not turn to this color. So this digital write takes two parameters. The first parameter is the digital pin that you are calling. Anytime you want to use any digital pin, assuming I want to use an analog pin, I'll call the analog function, just like I listed it. So this one we are making use of digital. After setting the pin mode of either analog or this pin mode here is general. You can use it to set analog or digital. So but what I've done is that this pin 4 is a digital pin. So I want to use the digital function to write to this pin 4, because if I use analog function it will respond because this 4 is a digital pin, not an analog pin. So since I'm using an analog pin, I have to use the digital. Since I'm using a digital pin, I have to use a digital function to write to that digital pin. So this digital pin takes two parameters: the pin of the digital pin and what you want that digital pin to do. Okay, since I set pin 4 as an output, I want to make pin 4 to turn high, to be high, to be in a high state. That is in a logic state, it is called 5 volts. So if I set it low, it will be 0 volts in logic state. So I want to set this pin 4 as an I want to set this pin 4 high. So what I will do is that I'll write 4, then use a comma to separate it and write what I want that pin 4 to do, which is to stay high. So this thing I want to write must be in capital letter. So the high must be in capital letter. So you see it, since it's high, the color have also changed. And another one, remember what I told you about semicolon. So in order to terminate this thing, you have to end it with semicolon. Without this semicolon, whenever we want to compile it, this IDE will show an error. So remember to end any statement that you know that you are through with semicolon, just like the way I explained it in the other video, to end any of your code with semicolon. So this is digital write. That means I'm writing to pin 4, which I set as an output to be high. So if I want that pin 4 to be low, what I will do is that I'll also write low in capital letter. So once I write this thing, that means I'm telling the digital pin 4 to be low, to be at 0 volts. But once I write high, I'm telling pin 4 to be at high volts, which is 5 volts. So that is the work of this digital write function. So these functions that I listed is the basic function we will use as a starting point in coding before we advance to other functions. So that is it for digital write. So the next one we are going to talk about, the next function we are going to talk about is digital read.